Okay, if you ever go into the teaching profession, you're going to be observed by other teachers. And I remember one teacher said to me, after observing my lecture, said to me, you shouldn't share your biases with the students about what you like and don't like. And I thought to myself, yeah, maybe that's right, because he said you're really gaming the system that way. But I got to be honest with you, I really have to share something. I don't like completing the square. And the reason why it just seems so much work. So what I like to do is I just like to use what's called the zero product rule. And by the way, when I share my bias with you, don't think you have to share that bias with me. It's like me saying I like chocolate ice cream and you like, I don't know, something different. Don't change your mind. You do what you like doing, all right? But I'm going to put this down here and I'm looking at it and I'm going to give it a try. So I'm going to put 2 and 3, and this is what I like doing. And, 2 times 3 would give me 6. And then I'm looking at let's see, I'm looking at 18, right? I'm going to say 9 and 2. X, sorry about that. You may wonder why I put them there and why I didn't choose other numbers. I'm looking at 2 and 3, and no other number would work. I'm not saying this works, but no other number would work with 2 and 3. Then I'm going to look at it, and I want to make a decision over here. It's more difficult. I'm not saying it's not. And I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to say plus and minus, and that's not so bad. Let's try it. 2 times 3 is 6. That looks pretty good. Then you get minus 4x plus 27x, which is 23x. That worked good. And you get minus 18x squared. And now I know my answers. X equals minus 2/9 from the first factor, or x equals 3/2 from the second factor. Again, if you look at my k, you'll see the 3/2, and you'll see the minus 2/9 in the k. Again, I just have my bias way. I like that. I like that method. I'm going to erase it because we're really not doing that in this section. What are we doing? Completing the square. Right, so what I want to do is I want to walk through it for you. And when I walk through it for you, I want to point out, this is something you want to do too. The first thing I did was I just wrote the problem down again. And then I got this line over here. And let me tell you where that line's coming from. I multiplied both sides by minus 1. And if I did that, I would get minus 6. Sorry about that. I would get minus 6 minus 23x plus 18x squared equals 0. Then I rearranged it, 18x squared minus 23x equals 6. So now I understand where that came from. Let me get my eraser out. So I'm at that step here, 18x squared minus 23x minus 6. So I'm there. I feel good about that. In other words, if I were studying this key, I would say I could definitely get to that step there. All right? Now the question is, how do I get to the next thing? Well, I'm looking at the 18, and I gotta, I really have to see that in the middle too, by the way. So I'm going to say, I got to get that 18 in the middle. So I multiply both sides by 18. But I also need to make that an even number in the middle with the perfect square. So now I understand, if I were to multiply both sides, let me write this down for you. I'm getting a better impression of this. I'm sorry, I made a mistake already. That's not there. I have to multiply by 18 and a 4. So it would be, this is square, sorry about that. So it would be 18 squared 4, I'm multiplying by 18 and 4, minus 4 times 18 times 23. These are awful numbers, by the way. And I get 4 times 18 times 6. All right, so I want to tell you where we are now. We're right over here. Oops, I forgot to put the x squared down though. Sorry about that. So we got the 4, 18 squared, x squared. We got the 4, 18, 23x. We got 4, 18, 6. We got all that. All right, I'm going to erase this over here. Let me erase it. And again, when I say erase it, I'm done with that. I know where this guy got this from. All right? Oh, now I got to do something. I got to complete the square. And that's always problematic. Always problematic. So what I want to do is I want to talk about, I'm seeing something in the perfect square. And what am I seeing? I'm really seeing 2 times 18 squared for that first guy. And that certainly would give you 4. 18 squared x squared. Now I'm looking for the next guy, and I'm looking for minus, right? I see that. I see the 2. I want to see the 2 times the 18. And I think I see that. And then I see that 23, don't I? Let me make sure I see that. In that, the 4, 18, 23. Yeah, I see it. I see it. So now I know what needs to be done to complete it. I have to add 23 squared to both sides. All right? So I'm seeing where this came from now. Let me get my eraser out. I was here, and now I understand all they did was they added 23 squared to both sides. I'm kind of following that. I'm there now. Now comes the problem. The left side is a perfect square. And let's write this down now. So the left side, again, remember it's 2 times 18, which is 36x. And then it's going to be minus 23 quantity squared. All right? Now here comes the problem I have is the arithmetic. I have to do that. And so I'm going to do one thing at a time. I'm going to do 4 times 6 is 24. I'm doing the highlighted red area now. I got to do 24, and I got to 18. That's going to give me 240, because 10 times 24 is 240. 8 times 20 is 160, and 8 times 4 is 32. So what do you get there? Let's see, 200, 300, 432. And then I got to do 23 squared. That's 23 times 23. Whoops. Multiplied out. 2 times 23 is going to be 460. That's 20. I should say 20 times that. 460. And 3 times 23 is going to be 69. And that's going to be 9, 12, 529. I'm going to add them together. You get 1. You see how much more work this is, right? That's 11. That's going to be 6. 961. I get that. All right. So someone says you're there. Well, you know where did I get? I got to this line right here now. So I'm going to erase what's above it. I don't need that anymore. Let me erase that. I'm following along. I understand what they're doing in the K. All right. Now what do I got to do? I got to use the square root rule now. And I got a huge number there, 961. So I'm going to say 36x minus 23 equals plus or minus the square root of 961. Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm not very good with numbers, but I know it's somewhere around 30. It's certainly not 30. I'm going to say 31, all right? So I'm going to try that. 31 times 31. Well, 1 times 31 is 31, and then you get 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 3 is 9, and you get 961. Lo and behold, I got 36x minus 23 equals plus or minus 31. I'm still not done. 36x equals 23 plus or minus 31. X equals 23 plus or minus 31 over 36. Yikes. X equals, let's see if we can do this. 23 plus 31 is 56 over 36. And the other one's going to be x equals 23 minus 31, which is going to be minus 8 over 36. I got to do some reductions, don't I? So let's see. The second one's easier, by the way. I'm going to divide by 4. So it's minus 2 ninths. And this one's more challenging for me, believe it or not. I'm going to say 18. That's going to be 25, 28. I'm going to keep going. And that's going to be, let's see, 14. I think I made a mistake somewhere. Let me take a look at it. 23 plus 31 is 50. Oh, I see it now. It's 54. Made a mistake. 54 over 36. Divide through, what do you get? Well, 18. I'm going to divide by 2. 27. Then I'm going to divide by 9. And I get 3 over 2. Do we get the same answers? Of course we do. Again, it took me a long time to get through that. I realized that. So again, I want to point out, I would definitely use the zero product rule in factoring. So again, going back to the original story, a teacher said to me, "Oh, you shouldn't share your bias with students," and I really have to. I think teachers should be telling you what's a better method, and that zero product rule worked out really beautifully. Factoring works very nicely, and whereas this, completing a square it's tough. It's a tough one to do. Big numbers, a lot of arithmetic, yada yada yada. But we get to the same answer in the end, and I can't say it enough times. We're going to get the same answer. Thank you.